whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We'll take All right, my connection is a little second, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the technical difficulties right here. Give me 1 second. If anyone can hear me, put a comment in the chat. Testing 1, 2. Okay, but Shawn can't hear me, so let me see if Shawn.
I can hear you.
Oh, I was screaming for you. I couldn't hear you.
I can hear you perfectly.
All right, because it's buffering. I'm out. Okay, so I'm outside, actually, ladies and gentlemen, doing this live stream right now. A couple of people in. Shout out to Bella Moore, and shout out to Hollywood Moore, new subscriber to the channel. Welcome, ladies. I appreciate you. But yes, every Thursday night, if the place to be is here with me, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. This is Random Topic Thursdays on channel gboot2786 on Gavin Richard on Facebook, Gavin Richard, as well as Periscope on Gavin Rich 2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Tonight, we will be discussing the following topics, including remnants of Ida impact the East Coast. Lil Nas X goes even further. And we'll also be talking about President Joe Biden's latest gaffe or fraudulent slip. All this and more on channel gboot2786. But first, we're going to introduce our guest, Shawn James, as you heard me calling out for him earlier. But Shawn is the author of several books, including The Man Crisis. He's also writing a new book called The Woman Crisis, which will be released soon, I'm sure. He has Stop Simping in the Workplace, the John Haynes series, as well as a host of others, Eternal Night, which I think is a great read for Halloween. Am I right, Shawn?
Yeah, it is. If you really want to get some action-packed African-American horror, you definitely want to pick up Eternal Night.
Most definitely. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Uh, I just so you all could be interested. You've seen me shout. I'd like you all to check out a couple of things, including the follow. I'd also ask if you would check out our website, our seasoning company, Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. And of course, you know how we get down every Thursday night. We got the song, got to get on up. Before we get on down, we got to get on up. So sit back, relax. It's going to be a great show. As we come back with this and more. But first, of course, let us play that song, Gotta Get On Up, only by me, yours truly, G Rich. You can purchase again. So let us begin.
Come on. Gotta dance to the beat.
This worked the copyright strike. I wrote it.
Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Right now the party's wasted. Nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this part started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause it is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you're breathing, you're achieving. So if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on it
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on
Oh, baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby,
on the floor. Get on up.
Y'all still can't hear me?
I can hear you.
That's but okay. No, I'm not on mute.
Nope.
But I think what it is that the comments are lagging. They're behind, so that's the issue. So yeah, I'm off mute now. Okay, there we go. All right, enough with the technical difficulties there. Let's bring in Shawn. Shawn, what's going on, brother?
I'm good. How are you, Gavin?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing good, doing great. Hope you're doing all right up there, man. Ida, we thought we were done with Ida down here, but Ida is not done with this country. In fact, it actually came across, impacted the East Coast, and that's actually what I was going to get into first. But then I got some breaking news, uh, and I want to ask you how you're doing. First off, with the storm, are you impacted in any way?
Well, my family member wasn't able to go to work because the trains were shut down, and but most of all I saw was a lot of rain coming through the window for the last all of last night, just 4 or 5 hours of rain, and it practically flooded New York's sewer systems and drainage systems, and it practically shut down many streets, many blocks, and low-lying areas, and it really again did a job on the subway system and practically just
This is
locked
in
and
Brooklyn.
shut it. Yeah, in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and here in the Bronx, you couldn't get any trains outside of a certain area because the systems were just tunnels were just completely flooded.
Yeah, so they can't say flooding is just a New Orleans thing. It's everywhere.
No,
Apparently, if you get a monster storm, and this was a tropical storm. This wasn't even a tropical storm. This was at this point, Ida is a depression at best
yeah,
when it does that. So those things can still do damage because they're pouring a whole amount of rain. There's wind, power outages, and yeah, I mean to see the water gushing out there out of the tunnels was something else. But we're kind of used to it in New Orleans because when it rains, the streets are always flooded. The pumps sometimes not working. Certain streets are higher above ground and some aren't. So we're used to seeing stuff like that. Not in New York, and then you have 18 people that have drowned. I've understood that number has actually increased earlier today. I was informed that it was about 20 something, about 24 people at least that have died with Ida, and then in New York. But even here in Louisiana, and one of the big impacts we have, this is coming from NOLA.com, at remote Louisiana warehouse. I want to share this with you all. Nursing home evacuees laid uh, in wait during Hurricane Ida. This is coming from courtesy of NOLA.com. I hate these ads. Says at remote Louisiana warehouse, nursing home evacuees lay in waste calling out for help. We have more than 800 nursing home. You had more than 800 nursing home residents. Uh, this occurred, I believe, in either it was in Baton Rouge or St. Tammany, I think. But it says here after spending 6 days in a heated warehouse with overflowing toilets and piled up trash. I think this was the North Shore. So yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing. 4 nursing home residents died, and nearly 800 were more than 800 more were rescued. While state officials said they were opening an investigation and families pushed for answers about their loved ones' whereabouts. The scene all played out at a warehouse in Independence known as Waterbury Companies, where 7 nursing homes, all owned by the same Baton Rouge businessman sent 843 residents before Hurricane Ida to ride out the storm. The longer they stayed, the worse things got. Several officials who entered the facility or worked there during the storm described the elderly living in inhumane conditions, some calling out for medicine, others stuck in diapers full of feces. Louisiana Department of Health investigators had checked out on the facility several times since the group was evacuated there, but they got kicked off the premises when they went to inspect the site Tuesday. By Wednesday, LDH officials started trying to move patients out of the warehouse, which continued into Thursday. By late Thursday afternoon, the warehouse was down to 7 nursing home residents still waiting to be rescued. we're really concerned, we're really upset, and we're really focused on making sure that all these residents are moved to safe places where they can get adequate access to essential services. Allie Neal, a spokesperson for the Louisiana Department of Health, will be taking action against these nursing facilities and will be making appropriate referrals to law enforcement. The nursing homes in question, the patients who were brought to the facilities, they came from different parishes, so it wasn't just one. So we had River Palms Nursing and Rehab in Orleans. You had South Lafourche Nursing and Rehab in Lafourche, Maison Orleans Healthcare Center in Orleans Parish, Park Place Healthcare and Nursing Home in Jefferson Parish, West Jefferson Healthcare Center in Jefferson, Maison DeVille Nursing Home in Terrebonne Parish, and Maison DeVille Nursing Home of Harvey in Jefferson. And all of these 7 homes are owned by the same man, Bob Dean, known for nursing home ownership and real estate business across Louisiana. Now, I can tell you, and I'm looking at this further, it says, but his nursing homes have come under they said it's been under intense criticism in the past, especially involving hurricane evacuation problems. In an echo of this week's events, 2 New Orleans area residents died in 1998 after being evacuated for Hurricane George to a Baton Rouge warehouse in a bus that lacked air conditioning, an episode that drew criticism, but little in the way of punishment from state regulators. This also kind of reminds me of sadly what happened in Katrina when we talked about the horrific failing, Shawn, of government officials. People, and I know I believe it was St. Bernard Parish, that nursing home residents were left alone and died during the storm. Those are just some of the things that happened. This is bad. And Shawn, what did you think of, I guess, from reading this? I'm certainly going to see that the state investigation gets open. They're going to see the state is already investigating it. But this is something I think, especially during our natural disasters, our elderly are the most vulnerable. Our elderly, our children, we even treat our pets better than we treat human beings. My girlfriend was just telling me that in Slidell, these evacuees left their dog, and the sheriff of St. Tammany is issuing an arrest warrant for these evacuees. But we have human beings that get left behind and nothing happens to them. I'm finished if you want to comment.
Okay. Well, I am deeply disappointed about the way we treat our elderly. I mean, according to the Bible, we're supposed to honor our mothers and fathers, and we're supposed to honor people by taking care of them in their old age and ensuring that they're well cared for and their needs are met. That is what God wants us to do, to take care of our elderly. Unfortunately, many of us in society, we don't respect our elders when we don't appreciate the hard work that they did to get us where we are. We don't really understand that the elders who made sacrifices to get you where you are, you're supposed to take care of them when they get older, look out for them when they get older. And it's a shame the way people just treat them. The elderly, we just warehouse them in these nursing homes, and we basically wait for them to die, all while you continue to collect their Social Security money and then take their Social Security money and then don't provide them with the most basic of human needs or treat them with the most basic of human dignity. It's sad that many people out here don't do unto our elders as we would want done to ourselves. And it's sad that even after 20, 30 years, we still have people at nursing homes thinking all about money and never thinking about the needs of these elders who took care of us, looked out for us, and wanted to care for us. And now, instead of us paying them back, we disrespect them in the most egregious way, because that's what we're doing when we just leave people to die like this and don't give them just basic human decency, basic human dignity, and treat them with respect. I mean, it disgusts me to see people doing things like this. And this is not, again, the way a God-centered man or a woman wants to do their mothers or their grandmothers. No, a God-centered person, they want their mothers and grandmothers to be treated with dignity and respect. And the way these homes just exploit people, it just absolutely disgusts me and disturbs me.
Yeah, this is not a shot at every nursing home or anything like that. But I do know from personal experience, we've had relatives that have been in nursing homes, and they engaged in questionable behavior. I'll put it that way. I'm reading even here further. A couple of nurses anonymously talked about the conditions. One said that the smell was so bad she had to vomit. Obviously the air conditioning stops working. And this was in Tangipahoa Parish, where this warehouse is. Independence is in Tangipahoa, so I'm familiar with that. And that is the area that actually was greatly impacted by Hurricane Ida. The eye passed over Hammond, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. So uh, it really got damaged, really got tore up. I don't know why or how they bring these people to a warehouse in a direct path of a hurricane,
That's just egregious. They just
or
have
whatever
no.
they have. If their plan sucked, it is egregious. Their plan sucked. I mean, you don't want, and obviously they had some type of. This is something that they've planned in place. I don't think this was something that happened overnight, per se. But I'm just reading here further. Dr. Joe Cantor, the state's top health official, said more than 50 patients have been sent to North Oaks Hospital in Hammond over the past 2 days. He said some patients arrived covered in urine and feces. Oh, God. Covered in feces, and the staff didn't know the patient's medical history or medications. We don't think they would have died had the storm not happened and they weren't evacuated. So, yeah, this is just terrible. And I don't know what's going on in New York. I mean, if there are any power outages or anything of that nature, I did
There
see.
have been some in other areas.
Okay. I saw De Blasio left a comment saying that we've never had anything like this.
Oh,
Um,
we've had it before. We've definitely had it before. I mean, I have
I
seen
think you
this.
said it's the worst they've ever had.
No, this is it's the worst that we've had so far. But we've had bad situations like this before, and there has been all we've been dealing with these type of situations all the time,
Right.
quite a few times. I mean, I remember in 2008. I remember in 98, we also had a storm that practically shut down the subway system. I mean, these situations have happened, but the problem is that many of the politicians, they don't really take them seriously. They don't understand what's going on with them, and they just sit there and try to say, "Oh, this is just that happened once." It's like, no, this has happened quite a few times, but you don't really want to go out here and focus on maintaining the infrastructure in a way that allows people to be able to deal with it.
Yeah. But Gordon, I saw your comment. You said if you really care for the elders, you don't put them in a home. Well, you got to consider this too. There are everybody, I guess, children and reality, especially of their parents who are raising children of their own, some of whom who are also having, work full time, may not be in a situation where they can take care of their elder who has Alzheimer's or who has dementia of some sorts. Uh, so that's why they go and get these retirement facilities or nursing homes, whatever you call them. Again, not going to say that all nursing homes necessarily are the same. They're not. But nevertheless, when I see a situation like this, it does make you give cause to pause about putting your family there, especially when you have a situation like a storm or hurricane. There's no way I would leave my grandmother or grandfather, uh, to a Category 4 hurricane coming. That just wouldn't happen. My grandfather, I remember, was 87 years old, World War II veteran. He was coming with us, traveling with us. He was living with my aunt, and he still had all his faculties and stuff. But we took him everywhere we went. We went with him. We all looked. I took care of him multiple times, and he lived to be 96 years old. And uh, he used to change my diapers, and I had to change. I had to change his, and that's what happens when you get to be older. That's just the reality. Our body slows down.
Yeah.
Um, it's God's way of saying, I got you in the beginning, now I'm gonna get you in the end, I guess. But yes, but he traveled with us, and we were safe with him, and he was safe with us. We looked after him. So that's how I do with my elders. But no, there's no way I would have left these elders in this condition. Um, it's just sad all around. But it does remind me again of what happened in those nursing home incidents with Katrina, where and I believe they got in trouble for this. Saint Bernard nursing home left several residents, and they died, and they got charged with criminal negligence, I believe. That did happen. So, when you have events like this, you got to make sure that your most vulnerable are taken care of first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's just egregious to treat old people like that. And what's sad is nothing has changed after Katrina almost 16 years ago.
nothing.
And I mean, that's what's really disgusting about things. I mean, here we had elders just totally mistreated 16 years ago, and instead of us trying to do better, we continue to do the same thing. And that's just the most egregious thing about the whole situation.
Right. Actually, let me pull this up before we get to our next topic. No, nothing has changed from Katrina, and I've told people, Katrina is a different subject, but Katrina was a big land grab too. That they tried to get the land from the Lower Ninth Ward, New Orleans East residents. But I want to share this because this is actually what happened. This was St. Rita's nursing home. 35 patients drowned in Hurricane Katrina floodwaters. And they were charged, the Attorney General charged them, but they were acquitted by a six-panel jury. So uh, they were charged with negligent homicide. And the jury took about this was back in 2007. The jury took about 4 hours to acquit Sal and Mabel Mangano, the husband and wife owners of St. Rita's Nursing Home in St. Bernard Parish, which is just outside of New Orleans. So they were charged with negligent homicide and cruelty charges for not evacuating this facility. So the assistant AG read a statement from his boss, Louisiana AG Charles Fody. Fody was a sheriff of New Orleans at one point. Uh, but they tried to obviously get them charged. Well, they did get them charged, but they tried to get them convicted on this. And the victim's family and friends were present. They cried and were upset, obviously. And I don't know what evidence they put on, but they maintain that the Manganos should have heeded warnings and evacuated before the massive storm roared ashore. Failing to do so led to the patient's death and suffering. Then the defense argued that the Manganos had safely sheltered in their brick facility for 20 years, and that if the levees had not broken, the home would have been safe. So they had to prove that they were negligent, and obviously the jury, six-panel jury, didn't see that way. So, but that is one story that had happened. I want to share that with y'all. But people can be prosecuted for this, just so
Yes,
you
they
know.
yes they can and they should be.
Yeah. All right. So we'll continue on. So before I hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Also, if you could, please donate to the Cash App. We are if you please donate to the Cash App, the Google Pay, uh, the PayPal, and the Zelle. You see the hyperlink at the bottom. And also support Shawn, buy his books like Revenge of the Cyber Goddess and John Haynes Taking Care of Business, which are available on Amazon.com. Sean, before I got on here, what I was actually going to talk about first was this that happened earlier. I thought I had saved it in my topic, but this is some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, that I just received earlier today. A couple of events happened. There, of course, I don't know if you saw yesterday, Sean. There are charges that are going to be announced in the death of Elijah McClain. The grand jury indicted several the paramedics as well as the police officers with various charges from uh, each charged, I believe, with a negligent homicide charge. There's also some other charges as well that are in there, but the paramedics are being were indicted on that as well. But this is something that was breaking news to me, and this happened. Former Glenn County DA is indicted over the handling of the Ahmaud Arbery case. You guys remember what happened with Ahmaud Arbery? He was the young black man out in Brunswick, Georgia, who was jogging and was shot and killed by two Gregory and Gregory Abbott, as well as Roddy Bryant. Uh, what was Gregory Abbott's son, who was also he was the trigger man. I'm trying to forget that demon's name. I'm trying to remember, excuse me. But the Abbotts, I know that for sure. They were charged with and Mr. Bryant were charged with their murder. Well, this came off earlier today that Glenn County DA, this is her name is Jackie Johnson, former district attorney, was indicted on charges of oath, violation of oath of public officer and obstruction of a police officer in relation to the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery. Johnson has been the subject of was the subject of some investigations by Channel 2 Action News. Thank them for the shout out, but it was Greg McMike. I said Abbott. Excuse me, I apologize. Travis and Greg McMichael. Those are the names. I'm sorry, I mess people's names up all the time. I'm thinking of something else. These were the men who are standing trial right now for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. And apparently, Miss Johnson, Jackie Johnson, and you guys know I've done stories and videos on this. She, as well as another former DA, they tried their best to keep this case from moving forward. If you read their reasonings why they were not going to bring charges, you would think that they would have represented the McMichaels rather than representing their respective counties. They did not want to bring charges on this. And so Johnson sent a statement at the time denying the claims that her office had impeded arrest, and then blasted those officials and blamed the former police chief who was facing his own indictment for the problems. And yeah, that police chief who was there, he didn't want to arrest them either. But this was from one incident. Now they're saying here a statement that it is unfortunate that the commissioners Murphy and Booker have chosen to make false accusations against District Attorney Jackie Johnson in an attempt to make excuses and ignore the problems at the Glenn County Police Department for which they are ultimately responsible. The statement read, Acting Police Chief Jay Wiggins has indicated that it was a mistake that then Police Chief John Paul did not immediately call in the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate the death of Ahmaud Arbery. Well, here's the thing about that. They did not need to get the Georgia Bureau of Investigation involved in the first place. They're the freaking police. If they want to go and arrest somebody, Shawn, when they actually got out to the scene of the crime, they could have made an arrest there. Even if Greg McMichael or Travis McMichael is claiming self-defense, how many black men get taken into custody immediately, even though they claim they feared for their life? They feared for their life. Shawn, this is I thank you, Darius. I had corrected the name, the McMichaels. Shawn.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Someone saying they're blocking comments. See, I'm looking through StreamYard. I don't know whose comments are getting blocked, but
Well, I'm on it. I'm here right now on your page, and it's YouTube to being YouTube because they don't like certain content being presented. They
well,
don't like us talking about certain things.
to hell with YouTube. I'm gonna talk my stuff.
Now, if we were up here talking about big butt women, they'd have no problem with us.
Oh yeah, I'll show videos of girls attempting to, shaking their behind or anything like that. They're cool with that. They're cool with 12 and 13-year-olds twerking. They're cool with, uh, you know, damn near half porn on here on YouTube. I mean, even on Twitter, you can go find that. But you talk real stuff about your people. You're talking about real life issues. That's a problem. You're speaking the truth to power. It's a problem. You're speaking black first. It's a problem. So I'm trying to watch my language because I have
Yeah.
mixed company. But you guys know what it is. What's up, Frank Nitty, Darius? Shout out to y'all. But yeah, they could have brought what I was saying earlier, Sean. If they wanted to bring charges in this case, the police could have actually done this months, the minute this incident happened, right in front of them when they admitted to shooting uh, Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, but it just shows the corruption of that police department and how they were looking to cover these white men. I mean, these white males, based on what was presented in the video of their alleged actions, because I can't say what they actually, if they actually did it, because
Allegedly.
we still,
Y'all
yeah,
say
because
allegedly.
it's always say alleged because it hasn't been taken to court yet, and we clearly see that the prosecutor clearly had bias, and this was shown to us in their actions early on. And now it looks like this prosecutor is in serious trouble for having that bias because they clearly participated in a campaign to cover up this whole murder of Ahmaud Arbery. But I'm glad to see that there is some efforts to try to get some justice as related to
They
this
ought to do this to
situation.
Cosby's prosecutor.
Yeah, this is what
If
needs to
they
be
could.
done to Kevin Steele and his egregious actions. Again, these prosecutors need to be punished because they are clearly showing bias and they're not representing the state and trying to prove their case. They are trying to just show their bias and just let people get away with crimes, and that's not what the foundation of our law is all about.
It is not. Although I know realistically, he would not be arrested, Kevin Steele, for that. But
No,
there's nothing wrong with wishful thinking, because what he did was egregious. Sean, I was actually at a comedy club here in Dallas, and someone still was mentioning the fact that Bill Cosby got off with rape and got off of a rape charge and a technicality, and I'm like, you people don't read.
clearly they did not do their
They do not
research.
read. They don't do research. That's the problem with Americans right now. 25% of Americans only read the actual article in detail, while most Americans read the headline. I'm reading this article. Let's go back and pull this up. This woman is the former Glenn County District Attorney, where the shooting took place. I actually wrote a letter to the Georgia bar demanding an investigation into the DA's handling of this case. District attorneys, as we've stated before, as I've talked about with Cosby's case, as I've talked about with even R. Kelly to a certain degree, your job is to bring charges if you have the evidence based off of probable cause. You're an administrator of justice. That is actually in the rules of professional conduct as a prosecutor. Your job is to mitigate justice the way justice needs to be mitigated. You're not there to push an agenda. And I think too many times that's what we're seeing with this stuff. We're seeing agendas being pushed. We're seeing people being prosecuted based off of emotions, not based on facts and truth.
And that's not how our criminal justice system is supposed to work. It's supposed to be prosecuted based on the facts of the evidence, and we're supposed to prove somebody guilty based on the evidence presented. Because under our Constitution, people are innocent until proven guilty, and we're not supposed to prosecute cases based on feelings. We're supposed to prosecute cases on facts.
Right. What and certainly I think there's going to be more to come with this. I know there was another district attorney who passed the buck on this case. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but kudos to this department for bringing these charges. And this is what needs to happen when we have prosecutors who fail in their administration of justice and who are alleged to engage in some type of corruption.
Yeah,
So we'll wait.
we really need this to be done because these rogue prosecutors need to be dealt with because their corruption allows criminals to get away with murder.
Yeah. And we'll wait and see what the facts are. She's innocent until proven guilty. Uh, at this point, the original, I know that they tried to get George Barnhill, uh, who worked, let's see here, the other DA, they passed the buck. And I believe Jackie Johnson was the first. And then she tried to pass it to another prosecutor, George Barnhill. She recused herself, and Barnhill admitted not realizing his son had worked with Greg McMichael as part of Johnson's office. Because remember, McMichael worked as a investigator for the Glenn Count for that county's district attorney's office. He was an investigator. There are cops who work obviously for the cops. There's a special that works for the prosecutor's office directly. There are those officers who work the street. They're different. All police officers doing different stuff, just like your internal affairs. They investigate the police for misconduct. So that's what George Gregory McMichael's position was. And then Barnhill recused himself. Then the Attorney General assigned the case. The Attorney General of Georgia is Chris Carr. He assigned the case to Cobb County DA Joyette Holmes. And that's how we got here. Then the case was handed to Cobb County District Attorney Flynn Brody Jr. when he won an election over Holmes in November. So that's how we got there. You basically had, 4 district attorneys that took this case on, or at least 3 that passed the bucket with this. So
Yeah, I find it interesting how they pass the buck when it comes down to black men and crimes perpetrated against them. But if this were a white female, they would all be ready to go.
yeah, more to come on this thing, Shawn, and more to come on it. We'll see where it goes. Uh, like I said again, I respect the fifth, the Constitution and Bill of Rights. Every person is presumed innocent until proven guilty, but I don't know how they're going to excuse this one. So we'll wait and see what evidence they have, and we'll move further. And you guys just stay tuned. Huh? So next thing I wanted to talk about.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Is
That,
President Biden's fraudulent slip? I don't know if you saw this, Shawn, but of course they were having a teleconference. I didn't talk about this Tuesday, but I believe this did happen on Tuesday. Several people have been talking about it. Shout out to Dwan B, Vicky Dillard, and a couple of others, where Joe Biden had a fraudulent slip. People call it a gaffe, but it was really a slip. And if you look at President Biden's past, he has said even worse things before. Now, I want you to pay attention. I'm going to play this video. And in the video, he's discussing Hurricane Ida relief, and present is Cedric Richmond. Cedric Richmond is the former congressional representative of New Orleans. And he resigned to join President Biden's camp. And he works directly as he is one of his top advisors, and he works directly with him. I believe the office he holds is the office of Public Affairs. Yeah, he's senior advisor to the president, White House Office of Public Engagement. So I was about to say public affairs. So I want you to tune in, just listen carefully to what President Biden said, and go from there.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started, if that's okay with you all. And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on. And I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans, and Cedric Richmond. And what I'm going to do is make a brief statement here and then go through and tell you what we're doing, but then hear.
I got to hear that again.
Started, if that's okay with you all. And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on. And I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans, and advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans, and Cedric Richmond. And what I'm going to do is make a brief statement here and then go through and tell you what we're doing, but then hear from all of you if that's okay. I know you're busy as the devil.
All right, so I had to hear it again because I wanted to listen to it in context, but you heard him refer to Cedric Richmond as boy who knows Louisiana well. Now, I thought initially, and I'm playing devil's advocate, and I like to be fair, he probably was referring to my boy because he said my advice. He talked, if you listen carefully, let me play it again. He had said his advisor. Let's play it again.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started, if that's okay with you all. And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA director Criswell, she's on. And I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans,
Okay.
and
My senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana real well. Oh, them good old boys.
Yeah, them good old white boys.
Just the good old boys. Now, Biden, let me say this. President Biden, this is not the first time I've heard him slip like this. I call it a fraudulent slip. Now, I have to say in fairness, let's be real. If this were Donald Trump, and Donald Trump had referred to Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, as a boy, there would be outrage from people on the left, people, I'm sure the Al Sharptons, D.L. Hughley's, Lonnie Love, all these people, Whoopi Goldberg, everybody I can think of, every black person I can think of that's in media and so forth would be pissed to the highest of festivity. But nobody checks Joe Biden. Roly-poly would have said something for sure, for sure. Has Roland said anything about this? Has Joy Reid, Al Sharpton said anything about this? We got to be real about that. Now, in context, I want to ask you this question, Shawn. Did you think he meant it like my boy as a friend, or do you think that it's boy from 1860?
I'm thinking it's boy from 1860. And the reason why I'm thinking it's boy from 1860 is because your Joe Biden is supposed to know better as related to black people. I mean, if you're around black people, you're not going to just call somebody a boy because that term is racially offensive, and you're not going to use that statement unless you are using it in that context, because when black men say that's my boy, they talking about two dudes who are just chilling with each other. When this Joe Biden is using this, he's using it in the context of trying to emasculate this black man and put him in the role of a child. Now, there have been rumors that your Joe Biden is allegedly been a bigot and a racist for years, and this slip shows us that this is pretty much being confirmed. I mean, this isn't the first time your Joe Biden has made this slip, and the left cannot find a way to spin this no matter how much they try. More and more people are seeing the real Joker Joe Biden, and they're seeing that this candidate isn't what we were told he was during the campaign. Because as he sat there talking about Donald Trump being a racist, we have not really ever heard Donald Trump use the N word. We have not heard Donald Trump go out here and excoriate blacks. But we have several recordings of Biden making these kind of slips, and it just again shows how these leftists, how they're covering him, trying to protect him, really just shows us how dysfunctional they are.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can finish, Sean.
So when I look at this whole situation, the more and more we learn about Joe Biden, we're learning that he's a fraud. He's not what he says he is. And the more and more that the truth comes out about Joe Biden, the more we learn how he's just a white supremacist and a racist. And everything that they're saying about Donald Trump 4 years ago is now coming to become true about these leftists. And these leftists are showing us all how they're the biggest racists in the room.
Yes, Biden did say that he didn't want his kids to integrate into. He didn't want forced busing because he didn't want his kids to go into a racial jungle. Those were the words he said. If you listen to Judge Joe Brown, he remembers him distinctly saying that, praising the likes of Strom Thurmond and Roy Farbus. Farbus was the governor of Arkansas with the Little Rock Nine. And you know who Strom Thurmond was? The James Eastlands and John B. Stennis. John B. Stennis and James Eastland were the biggest Dixiecrats and racists out of Mississippi. We talk about taking down Confederate statues. You got a whole freeway named after John B. Stennis and a NASA facility. And John Stennis was a vehement racist. Yeah, he called them black kids roaches. Yeah, he said this stuff. His son just caught, not that I'm blaming him for, well, I'm wondering where his son got it from, but his son has made racial remarks, allegedly from the cell phones that have been pulled. Remember those cell phones, his cell phone data that got dumped? They did a dump on it, and all the stuff that was coming out, he was talking about it, talking to his lawyer, talking about his member, his certain body parts. I don't want to go into all of that, but I remember him mentioning all this stuff. So this doesn't surprise me. I tried to, I said this before, Shawn. This may be an insult to the late Leslie Nielsen, but he reminds me of the presidents that we saw in Scary Movie, where Leslie Nielsen played an incompetent president, much like in Hot Shots Part 2. Your Lloyd Bridges' character, Tug Benson, was an incompetent admiral, and he was also an incompetent president. That for comedic effects, would always bumble stuff, would cause more havoc and chaos than anything. And that's what we had here.
Well, according to some reports, they're saying that Obama said about Biden that he can F stuff up. So he's been effing up for the last 8 months, and we're seeing him implode in August, and the implosion continues to leave devastating damage even into September.
Charge him Hennessy rates. Now, black people don't even talk like that. Don't even talk like that. Hennessy rates? I've never heard of that. You?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, what's up, computer robots? So yeah, I don't think it was a friendly boy. And let me say this about Cedric Richmond. And I know I've never met the man personally. We've had I've seen him before, just maybe acknowledged him. And I know he does, he has his parties and stuff down here in New Orleans. Everybody Classic people, if you're invited, you can go to. I've been to a couple of them. I've never really thought much of him. This is just me. Some things that he did, and it's not just him. It's the Congressional Black Caucus in general. I felt that they don't do a lot for the community per se in advocating for the area. We're talking about, as you mentioned before, 15, 16 years after Katrina. He took over after William Jefferson went to jail. And none of these guys, for whatever reason, they get in office. What benefits do they give to their communities, their areas? And I'm not talking about giving out toy drives or doing parties. I'm talking about something substantial, economic impact. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to wait on him to do stuff. And I'm not going to say that they haven't done some good things. Some of them may have done some good things, but it's just like, what is the purpose of the Congressional Black Caucus, as I said before, if they're not going to do anything and not going to advocate?
If they're not here for black people, then what are we voting for them for?
Right.
That's the critical question.
Right. And the people who defended Cedric, are people like you and me. The ones they call the Hoteps. They spoke out and said Biden shouldn't have done that.
But
you have not heard.
We all knew what Biden was about, so we know that the people try to make it like he was this not racist guy, but he's a known white supremacist. People have known this for years, and sadly, you had black folks who voted for this guy, and they're now seeing that they didn't get what they were thinking they were voting for.
So, Shawn, let me ask you, do you see Joe Biden, just talking politics here, do you see him lasting another term? Do you think he will? I personally can't see it, but I want to ask you what you think will happen in 2024.
Well, I don't see Biden's presidency coming. I see him as a one-term president. Basically, he has basically imploded in the last 8 months, and the bloodbath that's coming in 2022 will end the Democrat-run Congress. So I don't see him lasting to 2024 because he basically has screwed up so much that there is no way for him to bounce back. I mean, a lot of the policies he's put in, he has not really even done anything outside of the anti-Asian law, and his whole COVID-19 pandemic response has just completely fallen flat. And he's left a lot of the eviction moratoriums are gone. Americans are about to lose unemployment. And I really see your Joe Biden, practically his whole presidency is crumbling right before our eyes in the last 2 months. And there's no way for him to come back from this, because unless you do something about dealing, because he's already polarized people, he's already split his audience, because remember, those black voters that he didn't give tangibles to, they're walking away from him. And a lot of those black Americans, they are not jabbed. So he's put these mandates in place that's alienated the black vote that got him in. And he doesn't have that voter base because the Hispanics are going with the Republican candidate. So he's really in a bad spot right now. And his advisors and people, they're scrambling because they know that they're trying to minimize the fallout. But the bloodbath is just as bad as 1994. And he's definitely going to be a one-term president, just like George H.W. Bush, because he was elected because people wanted him to deal with the pandemic, but the pandemic just is getting worse, and he's done a lot of economic damage. And so he's in a really bad place. And just like I said in my video, America's Pyrrhic Victory, yes, Joe Biden and the Democrats beat Donald Trump, but they're going to lose the war because they don't really understand all the things on the chessboard. I want everybody to go check out that video, America's Pyrrhic Victory, because I talk about how, yes, you won the battle against Donald Trump, but you're going to wind up losing the war because you're not looking out for we the people.
Computer Robots asks, did we think that Biden did more worse stuff than Obama for Americans, and especially Black Americans? Well, let me say this. I think that Barack Obama, I don't know how worse he could get because Barack Obama didn't do anything for Black Americans other than sing Negro spirituals at the death of the uh, Mother Emanuel 9 at their funeral. I don't recall going on BT a couple of times when he had his farewell special where they did tribute to Barack Obama. I didn't see anything special that he did for Black Americans, but we treated him and worshiped him like he was the second coming of Christ. We looked out for him. We defended him by racist attacks, and he did not award us or reward us, rather, with any fealty. His loyalty remained to the Democratic, the far extreme left Democratic machine, and to that included the groups like the illegal immigrants, the LGBTQ, the white feminists who have been hit even with this abortion thing that's going on right now. Here in Texas, actually, the new laws that have been put in place where they're outlawing abortion for more than 6 weeks. Now, I can do a whole video, and shout out to Dennis Sperling, fellow attorney, who did a live stream about abortion, I guess, on this decision. I'll have to do another one at another time, but I've had Reverend Childress come on, and we've talked about the negative impact that abortion has had on the Black community in the last 40 or 50 plus 40 really 50 plus years of Roe v. Wade. Will be 50 in 1970 in 2023. Not something that we're proud of, and it's actually the largest killer of Black Americans. But Shawn, your thoughts on what Computer Robots asked, if you want to answer that question so we can move into our last topic.
I'd have to say it's worse because that
Yeah.
anti-Asian bill was targeted towards blacks, and that
Right.
anti-Asian bill was meant to prosecute blacks. So what's really sad here is black people voted for a candidate who, instead of looking to give black people tangibles, decided, oh, instead of giving you tangibles, I'm going to tell you to your face, I'm going to give you nothing. One, and two, goes out here and passes a law that is designed to target blacks and put them in prison because we recently had numerous incidents where white men have been attacking Asians and they're not being prosecuted under the anti Asian hate law. No, the only people being prosecuted by that law are black people. And what's sad is you had black people who voted for Joe Biden and this Congress and these entities, instead of giving us tangibles for getting them into the White House and giving them a majority, threw up a middle finger at us. And that's another reason why black people need to stay home in 2024. And if they want to vote, go out here and vote red if you want to. And I'm not recommending you vote at all because if there are no tangibles on the table, there's no real reason for you to
Yeah.
vote.
Well, I'm gonna tell you flat out. You know who's gonna get? I've told you before, and you disagree with me, but I do believe Trump will run again. And some Republicans won't like that. Some of them, they have their issues with Donald Trump because they don't like him either. Trump actually is an independent. And of course, I'm not a Trump supporter or anything like that. But what I do like is the fact that Trump was at least out and open with his bigotry. He represented what America really is,
He told the
uh,
truth.
and
He was
told how
honest.
he felt. He was honest. And I prefer a hurricane I can see rather than an earthquake I can't
Yeah. I'd
predict.
rather deal with an
Yeah.
honest racist than deal with a dishonest liberal who just pretends to be tolerant, but really doesn't want anything to do with black people and expresses their contempt in a passive aggressive fashion by giving tangibles to others, but no support to the black people who actually got you out of the jam that your leftists got themselves in.
Yeah. Black Voltron said Biden hasn't done a damn thing for Black Americans, but LGBT, Native Americans, white women, Asians, and illegal immigrants got tangible policies and benefits. Absolutely. Uh,
They all got at our expense. I mean, we voted
yeah.
in larger numbers to put people in, and what happens is they go to these other groups. And I say that's why black people need to just stay home. I mean, if you want to get your votes, go get them from those groups and try to get them from them because they're voting Republican, and you'll see how much support you actually have.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. If you are on this channel and platform, if it's your first time, We got people on Facebook. We got people on Periscope. Everywhere. You know, we do it big here. So shout out to you all for being here with me. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and venture into one of our last topics I want to discuss. Let me see if we got some people in the comment section. We have Maximus Royalty who said the great Fred Hampton said politics is nothing but war without bloodshed. War is nothing but politics with bloodshed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Cheryl Massey says, "Preach, Shawn." All right, Amen, Reverend Shawn. Yeah. So, last thing I want to talk about, God, if you have children, please go to bed. Kids, you shouldn't be watching this. I'm not going to play anything vulgar, but this is disgusting. Uh, Lil Nas X goes even further. Now, I'm going to show this because we're talking about this, and we're talking about this topic. I didn't even want to, when I saw this, share it, but I didn't want to discuss it because it is making rounds on social media. And even to the point, comedian by the name of Donnell Rollins from Chappelle Show, and he even made a joke out of it. But he was talking about this, and this caught my attention. I'm gonna see if I can show it. It's coming up. Is this? Excuse me 1 second. So this is what was up. All right. Now, this is to promote his debut album. If you're sick, please turn. I'm gonna give you about 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to turn away if you don't want to see this. Okay, girls, if you're watching, you know who you are. I want you to put this away. I don't want you looking at this. All right. This is to promote his new album. He did this.
Ugh. That's why I call him Little Satan X.
Yeah, Little Bussy X. Now, in fair, I don't know what to make of this, man. I really don't want to even give this guy attention. But I wanted to talk about this. This was trending. Um, you know, we remember a few weeks ago it was the prison dance that he did in that video. Was all bussied out for in prison, basically trying to make himself a victim for being gay versus his you had the guy he was teaming up with who was white. He got to have sex with the female prison guard. You remember if you saw that video? I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I
probably
saw it. I
yeah,
was disturbed by it.
but you notice the difference in that. The black man is being emasculated while the white man is straight masculine.
That's what they do.
Right. And this is what's being promoted to young minds and children. Now, in fairness, I will say this. In fairness, because I have, and let me see if I can find it. I remember back in the 90s when Demi Moore posed nude pregnant. And I believe it was for Vanity Fair, right? And I don't know if I could get a copyright strike on it if I showed it, but this is what happened. I remember this. So I'm trying to. Now, here's the reason why I'm sharing this. So she did this when she was married to Bruce Willis. Now this is a woman who's pregnant. This is how she posed for Vanity Fair cover. Now this was in the 90s. Now I remember this, and it was a parody. It was a parody, obviously, but they put. Oh, I'm trying to see if it came up. What they did, they had. Yeah, this was it. Now they did that in spoof.
Yeah.
So for those that may say, "Well, guys, you didn't say this when they did Leslie Nielsen," is this? It was a spoof.
Yeah.
I could.
This
It was
guy's doing it deliberately because he wants to
right.
push the effeminization of the black man and the emasculation of the black man.
Yeah. This guy, Lil Nas X, he is someone. First off, he was twerking for the devil. Then he was twerking in prison. Now he's pregnant to promote his album. He's expecting. And young children, kids look up to this. This is what's being promoted to our next generation. And to speak out against it, you are either labeled as a bigot, you're labeled as a hater, you're labeled as stuck in the past, you know, set in your ways, you're bigoted, all of the things they throw at you for having a difference in opinion. And wanting your child, what is wrong with raising your children to being straight, as a straight heterosexual? If there were no heterosexual people in the world, there'd be no homosexual people. That's just science. And by that, I mean it's straight people that create new life. Well,
Yeah.
at least heterosexual actions, male and female, through science that I know of. Yeah, I know people they have test tube babies and all of this stuff that they're actually trying to create a way for men to give birth now. I believe giving artificial placentas and so forth. I've heard about that. I don't know of that existing right now and where that is in the future, but what I know is what the traditional way is. You have sex, and if you're lucky, 9 months later, new life comes out. A baby is born. So we've gone to something. This isn't even science. This is just agenda driven. And brother Harvey had even was commenting on it, and I said the dude is just he's an attention whore at this point. He's like him and Lizzo. They're the biggest attention whores at this point. They do too much stuff so that they know we're going to talk about them.
They do stuff to get cheap heat. That's what they used to call it. And what he's doing is trying to get attention in the worst way. So he's just trying to just get people to pay attention because his music is not very good. If his music was
His
good,
music sucks.
he wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't have to do any of this stuff. I mean, if your music is good, you don't need to do anything. I mean, you don't have to do stuff like this to get attention. I mean, this is what he's doing because he has no talent, he has no skill, he has no ability. So he goes out here looking for the cheapest of cheap heat, and he does this in the worst way to get that cheap heat. He goes out here looking to pull these stunts, but the stunts, what they do is they just turn people off because they just look at Lil Nas X and they just see what I see is little Satan X. They just don't. They just see a guy who's just really disturbing and weird, and he has again no talent because if you have to rely on stunts like this to get attention, they really show you that he just doesn't have any skill as a entertainer at all.
And this is funny. He put Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy right there. He said, too soon with Donnell Rollins. Hashtag too soon with Donnell Rollins. Now this makes more sense. Donnell versus Breakfast Clowns. I don't know if they got beef or anything going on. Now, this was the episode of the Cosby Show where Cosby dreamed, Heathcliff Huxtable and the men dreamed that they were all going to be given birth. Like if their roles were reversed. Yeah, I remember that. Uh,
Yeah, it's all designed to push agenda.
yeah.
All designed to push an agenda.
All designed to push an agenda. I'm trying to find a comment he actually made. Try to see because Donnell actually had a comment he made about this. A lot of people commented on it, and his was the most interesting. I can't find it, but people were commenting on this, man. Uh, and everybody's praising it like this is something to be great. And I just don't see the beauty. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words right now. I don't really like even going in on this stuff, but I do it. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, but this is all. Let me stop because I've had enough. Yeah, this is all agenda driven.
Yeah, definitely agenda driven. And it's just disturbing and disgusting to watch. I mean, it's just something I just because I see Little Satan X, he's just Madison Avenue and Hollywood's ability put agenda to destroy the minds of young kids. He's designed to socially engineer the idea in little black children's mind that being effeminate and being dysfunctional is normal. And again, this is why you can't let your kids sit there and watch mainstream media, because if they sit there and watch mainstream media, they will be pushing these kinds of agendas on your kids. So that's why
Yeah,
you cannot let your kids sit there and read this stuff, because they will sit and watch this stuff because it will mess up with their minds and mess them up real bad. I mean, it'll just really,
and he did
again,
this on the cover of he did this on the cover of People. Now somebody wrote this. They said y'all mad at Lil Nas X, but they had a whole movie like this referring to the movie Junior. When often white supremacists throw insults at black people, they go and find somebody that'll try and deflect
yeah,
from the real issue. So let me just pull a post up. I don't know who this individual is, but uh, Timothy Jones wrote, "Y'all mad at Lil Nas X, but this was a whole movie talking about the movie Junior." I don't know if you
yeah.
saw that.
I saw the movie Junior, and I know about the Cosby Show episode, but this is
What's the
deliberately
difference?
done.
To explain the difference for people that may have not understand.
Well, what they don't understand is the Cosby Show episode and Junior were just satire. They were poking fun at things, but this is a agenda directed at black men, and it's all part of an agenda to emasculate the black man, strip the black man of his male identity, and strip him of his masculine traits. What they want to do is make the black man look weak, because this is what they have done to people at Abu Ghraib in Iraq when they put the panties on their head. They were basically saying that that man is so weak that we can just emasculate him, strip him of his manhood, and he will just sit there and take it. It's again, it's a disrespect to the black man and a complete disrespect to him, and it's just something we need to stand up against, because this is disrespect directed at you, black man. This is disrespect directed at you to say, we don't respect you as a man. We don't respect your male identity. We don't respect your masculine traits. And we see you as less than. And what we're going to do in order to show that we're more powerful than you are is we're going to strip you of your manhood and put you in the female role. And when we put you in this female role, it is to say that even your women are stronger than you. And this is something that racists have done for years to black people. They've disrespected us like this in media. I mean, I've remember reading, seeing things about the Beulah show and how they put masculine traits on the black woman. And they've been trying to feminize the black man, because, again, a black man, they want him to be powerless and submissive. They want him to be weak and docile. And they want him to be someone they
Right.
don't respect, because if the man is not in a leadership role, he cannot protect his community, he cannot provide for his community, he cannot care for his family, and that means that those people are subjugated and under the white supremacist control. And again, that's all directed at you, black man, all designed to disrespect you, and all designed to present you as somebody nobody needs to see as any sort of leader or authority figure in your community, and somebody in a community that is just seen as weak and easy to conquer and control.
Yeah, most definitely. You know what else is going on too is that there is actually I was on Amazon Prime. I was watching a movie earlier, and one of the trailers had a trailer for Cinderella, and the Billy Porter is playing the fairy godmother, an actual man playing the fairy godmother.
That's disturbing.
Right. It's disgusting. It's far from disturbing. It's disgusting. And it's
All
also it's insulting to this is insulting even to women because if you're a woman, how could you support a man calling himself 6'3", calling
in your
himself a
role.
woman in your role? You're an actress. This is the thing we talked about in the dangers of a society that is changing norms and removing quote unquote gender norms. There's no first off, there's no such thing as to me as a gender norm. You either are, or you aren't. There's not, you know, it is what it is. There's no, so when we get into adding different terms, when you start adding, well, I can be this, I can be that, I can be abstract. I don't have to have a gender. I can be gender fluid. Well, what door are we opening next when you have the situation, well, if marriage is not indicative to gender, then what about restrooms? What about restaurants? Well, not maybe not restaurants, but restrooms. Maybe then we have locker rooms. Excuse me, I said restaurants. I don't know what I'm thinking. Restrooms, dressing rooms, locker rooms, sports. Can a 6'4" man compete or should be allowed to compete in women's weightlifting or women's basketball, where he's dunking on them all the time? All that stuff that we're thinking. And you have somebody that has taken a role that, let's say, another black one. I remember when Whitney Houston played the fairy godmother. So essentially, if they did a remake of Cinderella, black version, she wouldn't get it. Billy Porter would,
Yeah, that's a disrespect to
or
women.
Barry, yeah, or Brandy wouldn't get it, or whoever, whatever black female artist that's out there that could actually act and get that role, they wouldn't qualify. It is an insult, exactly, Falcon. So that's all I want to say tonight, Sean, because I know you got to run. But we
Yeah.
be mindful of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We are facing an uphill battle, but you got to continue to push and fight for what's right, regardless of the impact that you may feel from an economic standpoint or socially. You got to make do. You got to stand up as a man.
Yeah, you gotta stand up for black manhood,
You
stand up for
can't be
black masculinity.
emasculated. My mom tells me to watch what I say and be careful because you don't know who's listening. Let me say this. The people who like me are the ones who know me. They're the ones that's going to support me. So I'm not worried about the people that don't like me. They don't like me, that's fine. I like me. There's nothing wrong with not being liked. I've had people dislike me before. There's nothing new. Jesus Christ wasn't liked on this earth.
Nope.
So should I be worried that someone doesn't like me for saying, I don't like this, this is not my thing?
I mean, you
Yeah,
shouldn't worry about that at all. I mean, sometimes you just gotta say what needs to be said.
yeah, yeah. That was in Nevada. You're absolutely right, stranger. So yeah, we're gonna continue monitoring this, man. Sean, in the meantime, why don't you promote your books, bro?
All right. Well, this fall I have E Steam Cancel Vacation coming out in November, and I have Stop Simping in Cyberspace coming out in October. And you can pre-order both of those books on Kindle on Amazon.com right now. And the paperbacks will be out in October and November. And I also have, again, ISIS Revenge of the Cyber Goddess from the 2021 catalog and John Haynes Taking Care of Business, which are now available in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want a great book for Halloween, you can get the action-packed African-American horror novel Eternal Night on Amazon right now.
All right. Pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you all have been, I've told you about this, but I have been working on a book, and I'm just about completed with that book. In fact, I want to show you, before I told you I was working on a book on Bill Cosby, the Bill Cosby trial, and I want to show and share with you all something right quick. I'm going to give you a little treat so you all can check this out here. Hold on a second. What do y'all think?
Looks great. Looks really great.
Coming out soon, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., the destruction of due process in the United States. So I'm going to be having that book out very soon, probably by the fall. Things have been pushed back, but that is the book cover for it. So that part is done. I'm going to plan on releasing a trailer for it actually in the next few weeks or so, whenever I get back home. But it's going to go over a lot of things, especially about what happened with Dr. Cosby, you know, from a legal standpoint, the dangers of this, and how it's similar to some previous cases that have happened in the past. You see, people who fail to learn from the past end up recreating the same mistakes. And we can't live in a country, we can't have that happen here in the United States, where our rights of due process, our rights to fair and impartiality are ruined. We can't have that happen or tampered with in some way. And media must be held accountable for it. So yeah, I'm publishing that through Amazon. You know, I've been working on that real soon. So definitely that will be out soon for you all to check out. It'll be my second book. I've got even children's books that I've written to Shawn. One
Awesome.
children's book that I have, but I've had a hard time trying to get it published and so forth. But the writing nonfiction, I've said before, is probably the most difficult, because when you're
Your
writing a
research
book
and
like
details
this,
have to be
the
on point.
research and details must be on point. Things have to flow in a certain order. You also have to edit your book, because you want to make sure you're speaking articulately, correctly, having your references in the right spots. So that has taken up some time, but I can tell you I'm about 90% complete of it. So it's going to be coming out real soon. I'm going to do a trailer for it as well. So you guys, please be on the lookout for that. So I thank you all for that. Much love to Shawn. Please check out Eternal Night. Check out Man Crisis, and the Woman Crisis will be coming out when?
2022.
In
Still working on it.
Okay, you think by you think
Might be by fall 2022 if I'm lucky.
fall of 2022. All right, if he's lucky, yeah, he'll get that. Also, guys, I have not found any Black charities, to my knowledge, where you can donate to hurricane victims of Hurricane Ida. But what I would advise you to do is, and as more time will come, I will give you information on anything that you may be able to donate and give to. There may be some. I'm trying to look for reliable individuals who actually are legit, where people can donate stuff. Because I remember when we had the ice storm in Texas, I believe earlier this year, Sister Nicole from Nicole's View, shout out to her. She actually had a list of places, Black charities, you could donate your money to help out those people. But most definitely, I want y'all, if you could, hit the Cash App, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. But if you could donate to the Cash App, I would appreciate it. That's Gavin Richard Esquire, Gavin Richard Esquire. That's the bubble there. The Google Pay or PayPal. Uh, as you know, I am relocated to Dallas temporarily. I've evacuated here. So anything you could contribute to the Cash App would be greatly appreciated. Shout out to Darius from Atlanta for his contribution. And thank you. I got to shout out some other people. I've shouted him out before, but Brother Daryl, Nix, who gave money, as well as Black Mama, who's giving money. I know she's not here. I don't know if it's late or whatever. Shouldn't be late in California, but she'll probably catch the rebroadcast because she's always here. I'm looking for Rosalind. Rosalind I didn't see, but Rosalind is on the East Coast in Philadelphia. I know they had issues with the storm as well, so I hope she's okay. But guys, that is it for me. This has been another edition of Gavin Reshaw Presents, and we didn't do a long live stream. I took Shawn's got to get out of here, so you all be safe, be blessed. Let me pay some dues first. First and foremost, I want you all to, if you like to advertise, you can email me at gavin.gwich1@gmail.com for rates. You can also check out the Patreon link at the bottom that you see in that ticker right there. It's the same as the YouTube channel, gboo2786. And also, check out our company, Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. It's a jingle I wrote. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. Be blessed. Thank you to my subscribers, all of you. We're only going to get better, guys. I will see you in the next one. And, of course, now that we have gotten on down, we have to now get on up. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not, please go ahead and download and buy on Apple Store or on iTunes. Gotta get on up. I'll holler, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Thank you, Shawn. Have a good night.
Thank you for having me on the show. You have a good night, too.
Be safe and be blessed, everyone. But let's get on up, shall we?
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor.
Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Good night, everyone. Shout out Black Mama. I just see you. Negroes, y'all always late. Damn it. All right. Good night, everybody. All right, Northern Belle, I see you. And I'll try and do a show Sunday. Just a little reminder. Hold on, let me come on screen. I don't know if I'll do a show Sunday. It depends on whether we get our power back. So I'll send a notice to everybody. All right. You guys be safe and be blessed. I'll holla. Peace.